welcome to Fireside Forge. I'm your host, Citrine, the Armored Sloth, and this is Tangle and Yonder here with me today. Today's topic is whatever we want, because apparently Tangle is tired, but she's always got something to say. So, what are we talking about today, Tangle?
Wow, thanks. I really appreciate that.
You know it's the truth.
Honestly, yeah, I have an opinion about everything. I've been thinking about old Disney movies. Not like the old ones, honestly, like the early 2000s-ish ones.
That's not old.
It's old to a lot of people.
Wait, I thought, but Aristocrats wasn't, because you were talking about Aristocrats like earlier before we were starting to record this, and that's definitely like old Disney.
That's the oldest one that I've watched recently. The other ones were
like 70s or like, that's old. Okay, that's not 90s.
No, I mean
dude.
the other ones were like I watched Lady and the Tramp sequel. I watched
You watched the Lady and the Tramp sequel.
Yeah, the animated one.
Why?
I was curious. I watched the Jungle Book sequel with Cell. What else?
There's a Jungle Book? Oh yeah, there is a Jungle Book sequel.
I didn't even know that existed.
I also watched like other not Disney sequels, but like I watched the Ferdinand movie or whatever, and like the Book of Life, and I'm just like,
I was actually meaning to watch Ferdinand.
It's actually
never got around
it's really
to it.
cute.
It's actually not that bad. Like it is what it is. Like you're not gonna get some sort of like transformative movie experience, but like it actually made me feel for John Cena Bull, and I'm like, okay.
Wait a minute, isn't that Blue Sky?
You just like it because it's a soft male main character.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah,
anyway.
You know what? She's right. Isn't that Blue Sky?
Yeah.
Didn't they shut down?
Yeah.
Blue Sky. Wait, hold on. Blue Sky shut down?
Yeah, Disney dissolved them.
When did that
Because
Disney bought them.
Wait. Who dissolved them?
Disney owned Blue Sky, apparently.
Disney, are you? Wait. I'm gonna. No!
Alright, you know what? I know this is an animation podcast, and we're supposed to talk about animation, but I'm starting to get a very disillusioned with the appeal of Tom Holland. Like, I was in it, and now I'm just not.
Okay. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, annoying. Just saying it flat out. He's annoying, I don't like it.
Bruh.
Disney keeps shoving Tom Holland and whatever like MCU actor they have now into their animated stuff, and I'm like, stop! I don't want to see Tom Holland as a dog in Dr. Dolittle. I don't want to see what was it? Robert Downey. I don't want to see Iron Man starring in the Dolittle thing with a terrible British accent. Performing I don't know, what did he do to the dragon? He like I don't know what the phrase is. But that one scene, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I hate it. I hate that movie with everything within my soul. And then you have like Onward, which okay. I know we've had the Onward discussion previously, but okay, Onward is like, okay, now we're gonna have like a Star-Lord and Spider-Man starring in this. And
okay, my controversial opinion is that Onward isn't good.
We already had this discussion.
I've watched bits and pieces, and it's okay.
Would I watch it again? Yes, but I wouldn't call it like the best thing I've ever seen, or even in the top tier. Or even in the top half.
It's not even the best that Pixar can do, honestly.
Yeah, I know. It's very middling in terms of what they've put out.
I kind of like the only part that I liked, and I think I've mentioned it before, was like the ending.
Yeah, I did like the ending. The ending was pretty good.
Pixar is always usually pretty good with their ending twists and stuff.
I don't know, I just like the fact that like, I don't even remember their names because it doesn't matter. When Tom Holland Elf was like, man, Barley was the dad that I needed all along. Oh, there it is. That's one of them, Barley. I was like, oh, that's cute. Like that. Like as a sibling, you vibe with it. But other than that, the movie was like not super interesting, despite the fact that like there's all these like D&D monsters in it. Like,
okay, you're just cranky because you don't enjoy D&D. You can't take that out on the movie.
I like the universe that D&D sets up. I don't necessarily like playing in a campaign, apparently.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I guess my thing is that I'm kind of okay on how they adapted everything into a modern setting. I don't know.
I feel like they tried to be Shrek, honestly, and it didn't really.
Yeah, first of all, it had Shrek energy, and I do not mean that as a compliment. Second of all, I don't think they went hard enough. Like, a society that is like the modern version of what D&D would have looked like, assuming it was the past, this is too mundane.
Yeah.
That's like, I think it's way too mundane.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Coffee shop AU.
Like, they went straight to like,
like, that's the vibe, like.
Not even like a coffee shop AU. They went like modern AU where it's like, haha, all the characters are in college now. Like, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. We don't stand that.
But yeah, okay, back to the Aristocats though. I actually did really enjoy the movie. The only thing that I noticed is that like there are way too many scenes that go on too long that almost have nothing to do with anything. And I'm like, are y'all telling a story? Like, what is happening?
Wasn't there like a whole like scene dedicated to some random drunk duck?
Yes, like out of nowhere. So like the duck shows up out of nowhere, these two ducks and their sisters, and they're looking for their uncle, I think, in the city. And the cats follow the ducks all the way into the city, and then they find the uncle. And then there's just this whole scene of the uncle duck being drunk. And I'm like, okay, like...
It's like you're watching that, trying to find out who asked. What is going on?
And it goes on, the scene goes on for like 3 minutes. And I'm like, can we get back to Thomas O'Malley, please? Like, what? It's terrible. It's freaking terrible.
Is there something that you want to tell the audience about Thomas O'Malley?
Yes, he carries that movie on his back. He's just great. Like, he just like sees this beautiful woman cat and he's like, man, I'm vibing. And then he like sees that she has kids and he's like, I'm vibing. And he like helps them and he's not even like expecting anything in return. And he's like treating them as his own children and pampering the lady cat. Like, that's how you do it. That's how you do that.
Wait, though, since we're having this conversation, am I allowed to confess my love for Dodger from Oliver and Company, or do I save it for later?
Oh, dude, Oliver and Company was one of the movies that I watched as well. And my criticism for Oliver and Company is that the movie should have been about Dodger. That's...
Honestly, I just love him so much.
Like...
He's very...
They were setting him up for an arc. He is the most dynamic character out of the cast. Like, I don't know why it was about the cat. Like, it makes no sense.
I don't know, man. I just really like him.
He gets one scene in the beginning when he meets Oliver and he sings his little 80s ballad or whatever, and then we don't really get anything from him for the rest of the movie, and I'm like, but why?
Man,
like,
I tell you.
I was like, why do people like these movies? They're not good, honestly. Like,
the stuff they grew up with. Gosh, okay, a different kind of vibe, but I don't know what about. Maybe it's because like the whole premise of Oliver, is it Oliver and Company? I haven't seen the movie in so long. Like kind of trying to grow up and survive in like New York. Is it New York City or something?
I think it was New York.
It's about like a Russian rat that immigrates to Fievel's Great Adventure or something.
oh, is that the Rescuers and Company thing, or is this something else?
No,
American Tail?
No, American Tail. That's what it was. Yeah.
I haven't seen that one. I just know stuff about it.
Okay, because that one and the sequel are actually both really good.
Yeah, I'm literally trying to go through and watch all the Disney content that I haven't seen.
I don't think
particularly
that
the furry
one's
but
American Tail. I don't think that one's Disney. I think that one's Universal.
really?
I think so. Let me check.
Interesting.
Because I would be surprised if they made like a bunch of mouse themed stuff. I did watch Mouse Detective a while back. That one's interesting. It's okay. I didn't find it amazing or anything. I did find that the plot was whatever. I didn't care, honestly. The character interactions were fairly fun because you have like the main detective guy and like his nemesis, who's this more typical, mafia mouse villain who's somehow trying to become Mouse King of Britain, I think.
Mouse King of Britain.
Mouse King of
Mouse Britain.
He has like this whole thing where if you call him a rat, he'll like execute you and feed you to his cat, which is like the funniest thing. He's so dramatic. He's a fun dramatic villain, I'll say that much. Oh gosh, that one's okay.
I feel like a lot of the Disney movies from that period are just like okay. Oh, I also watched the what was it? The Three Musketeers one that they did with
Oh, the remake? Not the remake. I'm sorry. It's like the one that's like super self-aware.
No, it's like I forget what year it's from, but it's animated and it's just Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. I almost said Daffy. Oh my gosh.
And there's like the turtle narrator.
Yeah,
that one's good. That one's really good. It's so self-aware.
It was so weird to watch though, because I've never seen like Three Musketeers content. Like I was aware of it as like a part of the franchise. Like I know that there were comics and stuff, but like I'd never seen anything from it. It was interesting. Obviously the romances were like not really good at all.
I completely spaced out looking for American Tail stuff, and I completely forgot about what movie we were talking about.
The Three Musketeers one.
Oh yeah.
Obviously they pair Mickey with Minnie, and it's the most like Wonder Bread thing that I've ever seen, and I'm like, okay.
No, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
I mean, it's Mickey and Minnie. I don't know what else you expected.
Something else, like, interesting, I guess. Interesting. I feel like there was the cow that Goofy got paired off with. I was like, this is the most interesting pairing out of the three of these, honestly.
I like how, like she falls in love with him right as she's about to execute him.
Yeah, I was like, see, now this is what I'm looking for.
And the movie has some pretty good gags, too.
Yeah.
Like, the more slapstick kind of stuff.
Oh, also, okay, speaking of slapstick, in the Aristocats, there are at least 2 scenes, I'm pretty sure, where the butler is being chased by these dogs, and they last for 3 minutes. Like, way longer than they should last. And I'm like, why are we still, like, we get it. The dogs beat the crap out of the butler. We get it. Why is this scene still dragging on? It's just,
they ran out of ideas.
I know, I was like, why, this doesn't, like, you're wasting time that you could actually be dedicating to something else in this movie. Ugh. And then, like, okay, as much as I love the Jazz Cats, their sequence lasted too long. Like, you just do your song and you get out. Like, you don't have to do it 3 more times. Just do the song and get out. If you have to put it in there, like, you didn't actually have to put that in there. And, like, the racist Chinese cat, too, like, y'all.
Yeah,
okay, that's just dated.
I only have
that's just how it was.
I only have the vaguest memory of that scene, but I do remember even, like, as a child seeing that. Like, I didn't even understand why you would call something like that racist as a kid, but I was just like, why? Like, when I saw it, I was like,
watching
why?
it in the 21st century, I'm like, ooh, Lord. Like, woo, jeez, but... Like, you just see something, you're just like, yikes. Like,
I think, like, I could have sworn there was, like, a version of Aristocats they could have an entire scene just because of the one Chinese cat.
yeah.
Because
I'm
they
sure.
wanted to avoid
I 100%
the,
believe that.
like, this is racist kind of thing. As opposed to keeping things like, what's the word? Not compromising the original media, so that way you can show, like, hey, this is the way how things used to be written,
Yeah, no, I'm totally
Make sure
for
you don't
that.
do
It's
it
just
again, but,
Yeah,
like,
I
I feel like fully censoring it, like, completely defeats the purpose of, I don't know. I am looking up An American Tail, and now I understand why I didn't have a bunch of, like, sequels and junk. It's a Don Bluth movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that
That
explains
probably
that.
explains why they're able to do something as mature, I wouldn't say a mature of a theme, but as complex of a theme as, like, immigration. Because Disney's not going to do that. They're not going to bother with that.
Yeah, no. Not on good old Walt's watch.
Well, with the exception of Frozen 2, but I haven't seen that movie.
What movie?
Actually, no, wait, hold on. No, wait, hold on.
Okay.
That's colonialism, not immigration. I got that. That's two completely different things.
Yo, I just had, like, since we're on the, like, someone said Frozen 2, I awaken. This movie is a mess.
What movie?
I don't even remember what happened in it. Frozen 2.
Oh, yeah, Frozen 2 is a mess.
What a freaking mess. I'm like, what is going on?
Okay, like, the Kristoff rock ballad
really
is enough to,
sat
like,
there.
put me in a coma for, like, from sheer rage. Like, I hate it so much.
My thing is, like, it's written in such a way, and, like, I understand if a movie is a mess. Actually, I don't, but I'm gonna be generous and say that. But the worst kind of mess is when, at the end of the movie, you are still waiting for the plot to start. Because that's how I felt watching Frozen 2. Like, I was like, oh, okay, we're ready to, like, get into the plot. And then the credits started rolling. And I said, okay.
It's literally like they took every snarky video reviewer being like, I don't understand how Elsa's powers work. And they're like, well, we will tell you. And I'm just like, no, you really didn't have to tell us. No, please don't do that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, all you needed to do, because, like, okay, all the snarky YouTube reviewers are always like, well, it's so weird that she's the only person with these powers. Like, introduce a group of people who have these powers. They don't even have to be main characters, and then they can stop talking. It's that simple. Plus, you don't have to answer to these people.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they do bring up a good point, and maybe you should address a good point, but Elsa's powers was not the hill to die on.
It's like you don't even need to, like, establish an origin for the powers, because it's Disney. It's like, oh, if you tell us that she has powers, she has powers. We're not really going to ask.
She's an X-Men.
Yeah,
There's your
who
answer.
cares?
Like, but
Yeah,
like
there you
giving
go.
us a limit to what her powers do and like a vague sense of where they come from is fine. But doing this whole like the Ariandelians were racist and also Elsa's the Avatar, like I don't care. Like you don't
Yeah, was not vibing.
that you didn't have to you really didn't have to do that at all. Like you're doing too
So,
much.
thoughts on the Rhea thing coming out?
Bad.
I hate the dragon's design. I watched the trailer and I didn't get like, okay, let me organize my thoughts here. So Moana, right? It's a movie. It's pretty good. Maybe not the best movie that Disney has ever made, but like, it's a movie. I watched the trailer and was like, oh yeah, I want to see this movie. I don't know if it'll be the best movie in the world, but I want to see it. I saw the trailer for the freaking, what did you call it? It was Raya and the Last Dragon or whatever. I am not interested in seeing this movie. I have never in my life seen a trailer for an animated movie and had zero interest. And I actually think the root of it is the design for the dragon.
Bruh.
And also the fact that, like, the comedy that they put in the trailer was not funny. But, like, this dragon design really, like,
do they really
killed
expect me to, like... Okay. There's suspense of disbelief or whatever. I can suspend my disbelief or... Suspense of belief? Whatever the term is. But, I'm sorry. Con Ninja Baby.
I'm sorry, I have not seen the trailer, so excuse me?
There is literally, like... Oh, God,
Exactly.
It's like, you expect me to go into this movie and take that seriously and have it be one of the main characters on your ensemble. And I'm like, no, stop.
Because I must confess, I do not believe Ninja Baby is going to hold my attention for very long.
It's going to be a recurring gag, and it's going to be so stupid.
Yeah, and it's not going to be funny the first time, and it's not going to be funny any other time. I can see the future.
I feel like that's, like, the problem with American animation is just, like, how gimmicky people try to make this, like, stop, like, tell a story, like, stop doing that. Just stop.
Yeah, and because, like, they kind of set up in the trailer, like, oh, you need to trust people or whatever, you know exactly where the story is going, you know exactly how it's going to end. The main character is probably going to end up getting along with the edgy one with the not weird haircut, but she's got like I don't know, like that haircut. I don't you know, they're going to end up getting along and then like doing something to join forces because some other thing is happening. I don't know.
Also, I gotta say, this is not relevant to the quality of the movie, it's just my slight irritation with how Disney pushes things just to push toys. Since I work at a big box store, we already have a ton of merchandise for this movie that's not even out yet, and I understand that you have to send stuff before the movie is out so that it's there when the movie is out, but like, we have a trailer, and that's it. It's a little much to have like full shelves of a bunch of stuff from this movie that's probably not going to be that good. That's all I'm saying. Like, I've never felt more like a movie was created to push
the dragon
toys than
also
in this
just
moment.
looks super uninspired.
Yeah, I literally hate it. Like, okay, you know how you have, like, horse girls and, like, warrior cats girls? I'm like a dragon girl. And my feelings are so hurt by this movie because anytime someone wants to introduce a dragon character, my, like, dragon girl instincts kick into high overdrive. And I'm like, yeah, this character's gonna be awesome. And they're probably gonna go feral and it's gonna be great. And then you show me that.
It's a My Little Pony character. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, don't say that. You're gonna curse this whole podcast.
the Chad... Yeah, literally. The Chad Eastern Dragon versus the Virgin, whatever the heck this is.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I really don't know what to say.
I thought that the Light Fury was kind of in some cases. But Light Fury is a lot better than whatever this is.
I sincerely apologize for everything I ever said to you, because I didn't know that this was, like, coming down the pipe. Like, yikes.
Honestly, Light Fury isn't even that bad. Because you see, like, other instances of Light Fury and, like...
It's like...
I don't know. I kind of wish that they hadn't done that, but... I mean, it's fine.
I mean, How to Train Your Dragon 3 is a whole other discussion, because that movie's
so freaking mediocre.
I mean, it's still a fun movie, but it's such a
It's the most mediocre.
Again, it's like the whole thing where it's like, oh, we don't know what to do with this character. Give him a love interest. Like, are you kidding me?
Wait,
it was so unnecessary. Toothless. Like, it's so unnecessary.
Okay.
I'm like, at the end, like, the story of How to Train Your Dragon was always about Hiccup and Toothless. So, like, the fact that you introduce this chick, like, no.
Like, they were like...
Bros before hoes, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, they were literally like the We Don't Love These power duo, and then you threw the Light Fury in there and just screwed it all up. Like, are you serious?
Did you say that?
We lost her.
Did you
Yeah, because they had a really powerful... I'm not going to be able to explain this without laughing. Wait, I'm trying to, like... It's basically shorthand, because, like, what I'm trying to say is, they were, like you said, they're, like, bros. They were very much like a power duo. And they had this really, like a big strength in their relationship, and they were just naturally... Oh my god. Shut the frick up so I can explain what I'm talking about.
Campbell, shut up.
You can't just drop a bomb like that and expect me not to laugh at it.
Okay, they were like a power duo, and they were like naturally drawn to each other, and they had this really strong like boy and his dog type relationship. And you really just ruined it with a woman? Not like a woman in the sense that like, oh no, a female character, but like the fact that you would have the Light Fury show up and basically Toothless is like, alright, deuces, because I'd rather be with a chick. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
That made like no
Like,
sense.
I
It's
cannot
like you really think
believe-
that Toothless is gonna like Astrid goes, oh, Toothless might run off with the Light Fury, and I'm just sitting here going, no, he's not, sweetie. Shut up.
Hiccup saved his life. Like, they want to be near each other. The fact that you would turn around and run off over, like, a female dragon, like, I'm so insulted on Hiccup's behalf.
Insulted on his feet.
Like, they even have narrative parallels with the leg and the wing, like,
Yeah, like,
bruh.
the frick?
No. Also, I'm like, was the solution really to just, like, yeet all the dragons? Like, was that the best we could do?
I guess so, because I guess they
how
concluded
freaking
that
lame.
human nature is terrible, so we're not ready for dragons, so dragons are going on a big timeout. If they were gonna go that route and hide, they should have gone, like, with the dragons and become, like the prelude to, like, this weird, like, dragon people.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
That would have been pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Anything other than what they did would have been
Also, I'm like,
amazing.
y'all could have brought, like, Drago back or something instead of getting the weird, like, okay, the villain for How to Train Your Dragon 3 does not look like a How to Train Your Dragon character, and that's, like, a weird thing to say, but, like, he doesn't. He looks like he's from, like, Megamind or, like, Monsters vs. Aliens, but, like, he doesn't look like he's from How to Train Your Dragon.
That is so true. I heard, I'm not sure if this is correct, because I never watched the How to Train Your Dragon, like, TV series. I heard that he's either, like, tangentially connected to a character from that series, or, like, something like that, but I'm like, I didn't watch that series, and I don't care, so please give me a better villain, but, you know.
Like, I think
That's
if
what I
you
heard.
had fleshed out, like, Drago, because he's, like, they tried to set him up as the narrative foil to Hiccup. Like, Hiccup had this transformative experience with dragons that, like, showed them that they were good, and then Drago basically had the opposite, and I'm like, that's such an interesting, like, thing to, like, explore, and we didn't really get a chance in How to Train Your Dragon 2 to, like, actually flesh him out as a character. So, like...
Yeah, see, what I got is that Drago came across as they were trying to make him a dynamic and interesting character, but to me, but what they conveyed, rather than what they intended was a more complex character. What I got was just a typical villain that just wanted to do whatever the heck he wanted.
Yeah.
And then was like blabbing about his backstory thing as if it's his excuse. You can tell that he doesn't really care regardless. He's going to be doing whatever he wants to do anyway. So it's like, yeah.
So, like, bring him back, give him some more
I gotta
screen
say, though,
time.
like, I think probably my favorite scene in How to Train Your Dragon 2 is the one where Drago is trying to, like, subjugate Snotlout's dragon. I don't remember what her name is.
Meatlug.
But he's got, like, that dragon scale. Yeah,
Oh, wait. No, the
wrong
fire
Nightmare.
one, right?
That's
Like
not
the red
the
one.
Yeah, the one...
Snaggletooth or something?
yeah.
I don't know.
Something like that. But so he's got, like, his, cloak of scales or whatever, and he's approaching the dragon, and the dragon is, like, spitting fire at him, and it's not doing anything. But what's cool about it, I thought, from, like, an animation perspective, is that it's not breathing fire in, like, the typical way that you would imagine for a dragon. It felt more like lava, like the way it interacted with his cloak and, like, how it fell on the ground. So I was like, this is a really great scene. But yeah.
Yeah, the way
It's a
how
really
the
cool
different
scene, I love that
fire for the different dragons kind of... Because
Yeah, and, like, the way he, like, steps on her snout and, like, smoke comes out of her nostrils. I'm like, I am living for this.
no, yeah, that is a pretty good scene. Because, I believe it's established in the very first movie that the monstrous nightmare can coat itself with its own fire because it's a little more oil-based or something. And, like, it sticks to things. And then, like, the Zippleback has, like, the gas-based fire. And then, I don't know what Toothless is, but it's based on something very specific, and it's, like, explosive? I don't know.
It's probably plasma or
Something like that, yeah.
If I were to take a guess without thinking, yeah. So yeah, that was How to Train Your Dragon 3 was mediocre. And I hate that because I was really excited
Yeah,
for it.
same.
Seems like DreamWorks can do sequels, but they can't do like third.
Yeah, because Kung Fu Panda 3 was also it wasn't as mediocre, but it was not as good as 2.
2 was like
So
the GOAT, honestly, and 3 was more like kind of going back to the silliness of the first movie, and I'm like, no, I want my grimdark panda adventure, like, frick you.
Grimdark Panda.
Like,
No, yeah, I was
wow.
just about to bring up Kung Fu Panda 3, just because, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
the
it
animation
hit.
was fantastic, but again, the story, y'all. And, like, the whole liar revealed thing with his dad. Like, I will kick whoever came up with this
I'm
idea
like,
in
literally,
the throat.
the one of the things about the sequel was Poe being like, I understand that, like, I had this family that, like, you know, that was my blood family, but, like, Mr. Ping, you are my dad, and you raised me. And, like, that was so good. And I'm like, why did you frick it up? And Mr. Ping was basically, like a punchline in that whole movie, and I was like, no, put some respect on my dude, Mr. Ping. Like, what the frick?
that was they really wronged him. And like the way him and like Poe's dad are basically like competing for Poe's affection. Like, excuse me. You just re-entered this man's life after like 20 something years. Do not speak to me. Like, are you serious? You are not on the same level.
I know. Like, Mr. Ping changed your diapers. He supported you in being Dragon Warrior. Like, no.
Even though that seemed like a really crackpot thing to do at the beginning of the movie, he did it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, hello?
Like, also, like, not to be that person, TM, but, like, they kind of fricked up with the Poe and Tiger. Like, it was clear from the second movie that they were building to something. Maybe it wasn't romantic. I don't believe you if that's what you think, but, like, they were building up to something, and they just kind of don't do anything with it in the last movie, but...
Wait though. That scene, I think it's in the third movie, right? The one where, like, Poe is all frustrated and he's, like, beating up on the thing, and then Tigress is like, no,
That's
spar
the
with
second
me
movie.
instead.
Yeah.
Was that the
Yeah,
second movie? Oh my gosh, because that scene has an energy.
Such a good energy.
Like,
It's so good to say that Tigress is about to say something, and then they're like, Monkey comes out going, we're here, and I'm like, what was she going to say?
Yeah, I want to know.
That scene, like, you don't have to make any more movies, because that scene was peak.
They did have a similar scene in the third movie, though, but I think, like...
They did have a lot of Tigress stuff in the third movie, which I can definitely appreciate. I don't know why they gave her that gold outfit, though. I don't like the gold with her color palette.
Apparently...
It's probably because, like, orange and gold do not look that good together.
I think, like... They wanted to give her that outfit before, but the technology wouldn't allow for it.
It's like, that's great, but gold and orange don't look good together.
Like, there's a lot of color coding in Kung Fu Panda, and I forget what gold stands for, but it's, like, important.
I thought it was, like, the hero or something.
I watched
like
the
that.
special features of the DVD because I'm crazy, but they talk about the color coding in the movie and, like, what certain colors were kind of meant to represent. Like, red is supposed to be power, green is the hero's color, I forget what yellow is. But yeah, the third movie was, like... I think Kai was probably the weakest villain out of the three, too.
But his theme goes so hard.
His theme is good, and also chunky.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like, Shen was definitely the best
Shen was
villain.
so good. Honestly, Tai Lung was also really good.
It's just...
I think Tai Lung was the strongest written villain.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot of time with Tai Lung just because we were mostly focused on Poe and Shifu.
It's basically like, you should be afraid of Tai Lung.
I think,
All
like,
right, moving
he was
on.
a foil to Poe because, like, Shifu trying to force Tai Lung to be what Shifu wanted him to be instead of, like, following what Oogway told him to do, kind of turned Tai Lung into the villain that he was. In contrast to how he decided that, like, to train Poe, he had to let Poe be who he wanted to be and also listen to Oogway's advice, and that made Poe the hero. Like, it's an excellent way to, like, contrast the hero and the villain. So I think in that way, Tai Lung is the strongest written villain in the series. I find Shen to be more compelling personally, though.
That's because Shen is extra.
He is extra, but like in the best possible way. I have two things to say. I read a very long post on Tumblr 2 or 3 years ago, and it was examining the way that Shifu trained Tai Lung versus the way that he trained Tigress versus the way that he trained Poe, and they were arguing that it was actually a metaphor for Asian parenting. And I really would like to go back and find this post someday, because I was reading it because I saw the title and I was like, that's ridiculous. And then I read it and I was like, now hold on a minute, you might be onto something. Because it was like, Tai Lung is kind of the person who like loses himself in trying to become what his parents want him to be, and it's like Tigress is the one who's like always trying to do it, but because she can't do it, she'll never be pleasing in that way. and then Poe is like the kid where it's like he can't try anymore, so he just ends up being a wild card. And I'm like, this is really, and like it had like sources and stuff. I was like, yo, this kind of hitting. The other thing I was gonna say was also kind of related to that. I don't remember if they showed this in the first movie or if it was part of supplementary material, but I remember, because I think it wasn't 3D animated, which makes me think it was supplementary material, but it was like the scene of like Shifu training Tai Lung and like giving him all this love like he was a son or something like that. And then because of what happened to Tai Lung when he was training Tigress, Tigress was like looking for that approval from him and not getting it. And I was like, this is a really good scene. Like even younger me was like, I'm all right. I feel
that was the first movie.
But yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was the first movie. Yeah, they do a really good job, like, illustrating how Shifu wouldn't allow himself to be as emotionally invested in his students from now on.
Yeah, it was killer. I was like, okay, I'm feeling that.
Yeah, it was hitting. The first movie is very solidly written. Love that. I think Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon are probably my favorite DreamWorks franchises. Like, they're just really...
Madagascar.
Okay, like, I love Madagascar in the way that you love a funny TikTok, but I love... Like, I love Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon 2 in the way that you love a good story, if that makes sense.
The plot itself is just like, one crazy thing after another crazy coincidence after another crazy coincidence, and ultimately, yeah.
Okay, I choose to pretend that the third Madagascar movie does not exist, but the second one genuinely had me feeling some things, because, like, it's mostly a joke, but it does have, like, really good emotional...
I love
I'm
the second
actually
one.
the complete opposite. I don't like the second movie at all, and I actually, I think I like the third movie out of all the entire trilogy.
Oh my god.
Why?
It's funny, it's good.
I mean, it's funny, it is funny, but, like, circus plot,
Yeah, I
for
feel
real?
like I'm biased against circus plots.
I like the Russian tiger, he was cool, but I'm just a furry, so...
I know, furry.
Yeah.
I hate in the third movie how they, like, paired Alex off, because I'm like, no.
See, again, there we go again. He was in a we don't love these relationship with Marty where they were like, they had a very strong like bro relationship and you just introduced this freaking character and I'm like, why do you do that? Stop doing that.
He was just vibing with his best bro Marty. Like, why do we have to introduce the hoes? Like, I don't understand.
Literally, stop. You're scaring the hoes. but it's like, I want you to be scaring the away so that we don't have to do this.
Scare the
one thing I definitely do enjoy from the second movie was the whole Gloria and what was his name?
Melman,
and like how what was that one scene where he's trying to like explain to Moto how to treat Gloria and Melman keeps going on and on and on about how he'd want to treat a woman and all that, and you can see like Gloria just like staring at him going, bruh, the whole time.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I've made a grave error.
Also, like, the scene before that where Gloria asks Moto what he likes about her, and the only thing he can come up with is basically, dang, she thick. And that's basically it.
Gosh.
Like, yikes.
The scenes with Moto in them are really funny, though. Like, I love all of them. Because they're just so stupid.
Also, like, Big and Chunky is unironically a good song.
Yes!
I said it.
I found it
It's
on YouTube,
good!
like, the topic legal version. And I've been bumping that sometimes. It's actually really good.
Honestly, all the songs in that movie I really like.
Honestly,
like the traveling song makes me levitate out of my chair and like ascend to a higher level of being. I love that song.
Yeah, honestly,
the
that
version
song
of that
grew on me.
song.
I like it a lot now.
The version of that song that they play when Alex is dancing with his dad literally slams. Like, it's so good. And, like, that scene is amazing because, like, it's funny, but it's also really, like, emotional and wonderful, and I love it.
I also kind of like Marty's subplot, too.
Yeah, he's cool. It's good. It's good. I don't think it's quite as compelling as the other ones, but he doesn't have to be because he is a comic relief character. So the fact that he gets any kind of plot that's, like, any level of seriousness, I can respect it.
Also, the fact that Alex only learns to recognize him because of the bite mark on his butt is really funny to me.
The first time I saw that movie as a child, I did not see the bite mark. So I was like, I really thought, I was like, he just magically knows, I guess. And I came back and watched it later, and I'm like,
oh. my gosh, that's, oof. Yep.
I don't know, like, the bond of their friendship was so strong that he can just feel it. I don't know.
Also, the penguins. Gotta love the penguins.
I think they were at their best in the second movie.
Gosh, they're so funny. I love them. It's so sad that I did not really like the Penguins movie, to be honest.
That's because, like, it wasn't that good.
I never got around to watching that.
It's okay.
Okay, it is worth watching for the North Wind, specifically the leader of the North Wind. Other than
Benedict
that, I can't really
Cumbersnatch
recommend it.
Wolf.
Shut up. He has an energy.
Okay, if you say so. I just like
Shut up. He has an energy.
shut the frick up.
I think
furry.
it's just like whoever the character designer is for like some of the like the lions, the tiger, honestly the polar bear too, and most of the canines, he has an energy. Like his work has an energy. But go ahead. You were saying about the penguins in the Penguins movie.
Penglings. I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I guess it's because I'm biased because I watched the Penguins of Madagascar show, but I was kind of expecting something more along those lines where, like, I don't know. I don't like the type of plot where it's like, oh, we have the main characters and they're good at what they do, but then they meet someone who's better at it than them, and then it makes them question their whole thing. Like, I don't like that type of plot. Like, I don't. It's
like
not.
you can do that plot, but you can't do that plot with the penguins because that's kind of the point, is that it's insane and wild what they are doing. Like that's kind of the point. And like it's kind of supposed to be funny because it's like Skipper actually is not all that intelligent, but like he thinks he is, and things work out, and that's why it's funny. So to have this like deconstruction of that just kind of kills the humor of it.
Also, like, focusing on Private.
Yeah, he's not interesting.
As like the emotional center of the movie. No, he's the least interesting one.
Literally, just give me like Rico instead. I'd rather
just
have
give us
that.
Rico and Kowalski.
Rico. All my homies love Rico.
Kaboom.
Yeah, it's like, here's the thing. I don't want a Skipper origin story because it's funnier that he just acts like that, so you don't need to do that. Kowalski I like Kowalski, but him being smart does not, like, it's, his whole trope is that he's smart, and there's not that many plots you can pull from that, because obviously there's probably someone who's smarter, and Private is not that interesting for reasons we have already discussed. Give me the Rico movie now, please.
Backstory of like breaking out of prison and like murdering
like that would
men.
be funny. Like if you give him some wild backstory that's like not even believable by Madagascar standards, like I would buy that. I would
also,
love
like,
that.
They kind of imply that the penguins are just kind of doing that, like doing their whole like we're a secret agent team, like just because they're doing it. But I think it would be funnier if there was actually some sort of like central penguin intelligence like thing that they were
like
working for, even if it was just as crackheaded as they were.
Does the Penguin movie take place before or after the Madagascar movies?
It treats the Madagascar movies like they don't I guess it takes place after Madagascar 3. My problem with it, because I think the beginning of the movie is right at the end of Madagascar 3. My problem with it is that it treats the Madagascar TV show like it doesn't exist. I have problems with that.
And honestly, the Madagascar TV show is where the penguins were at their best.
Yeah, like, I know I said they were best in their second movie, but only in terms of the movies. They were at their best in the television show.
But like the thing is, the TV show does this weird thing where King Julian is at the zoo for some reason, and they never like explain it.
True.
So like the TV show, I feel like is just separate from the movies.
But still, there were so many good characters from the TV show that they could have used if they had gone the like. Even if I can't believe I'm about to suggest this, even if there was a Madagascar multiverse of sorts, I would prefer they place a movie in the Penguins of Madagascar TV show universe than the movie universe for that reason.
Because I feel like there's more to do with them in the TV setting, like in the plot and like world they did for the TV show than there is, like, because in the movies the penguins are just a joke, which like it's a funny joke, but you can't really make a movie out of that.
Yeah.
And like in the TV show, it actually like tries to give them like not necessarily depth, but it does more with their characters and the setting that they're in.
Yeah, or like if you absolutely must do like movie multiverse instead of TV show universe, then the writing should be more similar to how it was in like the Christmas special with the penguins and not what they did. Because if you watch the Penguins movie and the Christmas special with the penguins, which is not to be confused with Merry Madagascar because they are not the same, you will notice that the writing is very different, and I'm just a bigger fan of the Christmas special type writing. That's just me.
I forgot that Merry Madagascar existed. You just like gave me a brain blast. What the frick?
Dude, Merry Madagascar is my favorite Christmas movie. I mean, it's not even a movie, it's like a short,
Christmas
but like
movie for Madagascar?
Dude. I mean, not movie, but like it's an extended short. Like I think it's like 20 or 30 minutes, and it's my favorite Christmas media. I think everyone should watch it.
That's when Private fell in love with the reindeer, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was
and that was funny.
Did they? Okay, I didn't see. I know that they have like a King Julian show. I never watched that.
I've seen the first episode of it, and I don't remember it.
I feel like Julian is not. He's not really main character material. Like he does better when he plays off of other characters than when he's the focus of something.
Agree. Like, the scene in Madagascar 2 where he's, like, on the plane, like, it's first class or whatever, that was funny because, like, he wasn't really the main focus of it. Like, the point is that the plane is going down. Haha funny because he doesn't seem to notice and wants his peanuts or whatever. Like, that was good. I like that.
Yeah, what works, especially when you're saying that he plays off better with other characters, and then the whole thing of him thinking he's the center of attention, like, the reason why that works as a gag is he's not the center of attention, specifically within the story, because the story never centers on him. That's what makes him, like,
He's like-
appealing in the Penguin show as well, is because he's not the center of attention in that show either. And that's what also makes it funny, because it's about the penguins, but King Julian acts as if he's in charge.
And he's often the antagonist in that show. So.
Yeah, like, he doesn't know it, but he is.
And I think it was him and, like, the zookeeper.
Something like that. It was some lady.
And, like, various other, like, antagonists in the show. But I think he was, like, the main recurring, like, antagonist-like character. Gosh, yes, I love the Penguins, and that's why I'm kind of mad that their movie is not that great.
Like, again, animation-wise, very nice.
Oh, yeah, animation-wise,
story.
It is goated, like... Yes.
It is goated.
Like, and the textures. And, like, a lot of the jokes that they tell in the movie are funny. Like... Yeah,
it's just, like, the plot that's supposed to go with it, not that funny.
Bruh.
Basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I did not like about the Penguins movie.
Oh, can we talk... can I get you guys' opinion on a different DreamWorks movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
How are we feeling about Home? Y'all remember that movie?
I don't think it's good.
I don't think I've ever watched that movie all in one sitting. I just remember it was
Okay, here's my quick rundown on how I feel about this movie. It's mediocre, but on the positive side of mediocre instead of the negative side of mediocre. In addition to that, the soundtrack banging and the animation good, but it's not that good of a movie.
But the thing is, DreamWorks always has good animation, so that's, like, moot at this point.
Yeah, it's like, I should really, like, much like I don't give Disney credit for good animation anymore, I should really stop giving it to DreamWorks, because, like, I know they're good at it.
Yeah. The soundtrack was really good. Dang.
It was so banging. I'm like, I know people got really mad. It's like, I can't believe that Rihanna gets to do, like, a concept album for this movie. I'm like, yo, it's more good music. I don't know what you're complaining about.
It's like they probably hired her so that,
but, you know,
for the voice acting role so that she could do this. That's probably the reason.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably why. And then, because, like, it was based on a book, and even though I don't really remember the book, I did read it as a child, so I was actually kind of excited to see this movie, and I was like,
I didn't know that it was based on a book, so I was like, I don't know what the frick going on.
It was based on a book called The True Meaning of Smack Day.
See, the thing is, to me, it feels like the movie kind of had, like, a low-key, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy kind of vibe, where it's, like, these really big events being kind of, how do I explain the vibe of it? I feel like that if I wanted to watch a movie that was about, like, space stuff going on, we have, like, these really weird, like, space emails and, the mighty shusher, and, like, all these really weird concepts that just seem to make sense to the characters, but, like, conceptually are just so abstract. I would definitely prefer watching Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy than whatever Home was.
I've never seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It's that one's a book, and I've listened to some of the book, and it's interesting. It's really interesting.
It's a name that I see thrown around a lot, so I might get around to reading it at some point.
I think it had a video game. That's the only familiarity that I have with it, is I think
it's just
had
like,
a video game.
There's a whale on this one planet, and it's, like, falling, and you get to hear, like, its internal monologue as it's falling. Because it's weird, like, abstract kind of, okay, I might be saying this wrong, because I've only read, like, part of the book. So it's just such a weird kind of book to explain, because it's very philosophical, but in a very wacky kind of way. Like, they go, oh, we need to learn, like, the meaning of the universe, and they build, like, this giant supercomputer. It takes them 1,000,000 years in order to learn the meaning of the universe. And they ask them, what's the meaning of the universe? And then the computer tells them, well, I can construct for you a computer that can do that for you. So they wait for the computer to spend another 1,000,000 years to build a computer that's going to answer the question for them. And then, like, it's like the people who had done it at the beginning, they're obviously dead. And then, like, the current citizens, they've been waiting millions of years to hear this answer. And then the computer just answers 42. And I mean, there's like a whole meaning behind that. Like I read a thread on it, and 42 is actually a much deeper answer than it appears.
Oh.
But it's just so wacky. And then like the part that makes the humpback whale scene so funny is that it's like, you know, like the narrator just goes, there's like this certain percent chance that like a anomaly where like this whale like appears randomly somewhere just happens, and then it's like the monologue of that happening, and it's, oh my gosh, it's kind of got like I hand you a hamburger energy. Sort of. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like immaculate. I can't like put it into words. It's just a thing you experience and you go, oh, okay.
All right. How we feeling about Mr. Peabody and Sherman?
Who?
Mr. Peabody.
Wait.
Freaking
Is this
movie.
the dog and the guy that likes cheese?
No, that's Wallace and Gromit. Wrong dog and man movie.
No, I'm sorry.
I was literally about to
was
say, Mr. Peabody.
Anyway.
Got me feeling.
Not even my
What
type.
is
But
this? Hold on, I'm looking this up.
It's the DreamWorks. The DreamWorks movie, not the old show.
Not the animated series.
Oh, is this the? Oh, okay. I was thinking of Tintin for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. I never watched this.
It's an experience.
I think it's worth a watch. I think that you should watch it. I don't know if it is the best thing DreamWorks has ever put out, but like it's genuinely entertaining. It's got some heart. Mr. Peabody carries this movie on his back.
He honestly does.
You know, it's good. I think it's good. I would call it a good.
The fact
movie.
that they use Pompeii as one of the marketing songs, though, legendary.
Okay, that was the first time I ever heard that song, and it's the reason why I simp Bastille to this day, as well as like. No, I'll just leave it at Bastille. But like, I
need to look up the commercials again because I remember seeing the commercials and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know why my brain went Tintin for some reason. I think that's because Tintin has a dog in the movie.
Yeah, he has a white dog.
Tintin is such a weird movie because it's like it's this kind of wacky fun movie where I feel like they are building up to a sequel, or they left it super open ended for a sequel, and they honestly should have gotten a sequel. But my only issue is that the movie's animations were so realistic to the point where I was actually starting to mix it up with live action.
Really?
And then I go, you know, at that point, you either need to decide to make your animation more stylized, or you just need to just straight up just make it a live action film. That's my thing. That's my thing about it.
Imagine doing so well with your animation that people criticize you for it.
I mean, from what I've seen, a lot of it looks Uncanny Valley to me personally, but that's an interesting point.
That's probably like kind of within the same vein where they're trying to be real, almost too real, and I'm like, okay, this isn't hitting correctly.
Yeah, I remember I read the comics as a kid.
You said it is not hitting different, it is hitting the same.
It is hitting mediocre. I don't know. I feel like I was expecting more out of it because of the way that it was marketed, which is not necessarily the movie's fault, but...
I felt that way about Penguins of Madagascar, so I feel that.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But I just really like Mr. Peabody.
Yeah, not even my type, but he was serving.
Bruh.
He was 100% serving.
Bruh.
Dude, why are you, like, checking out Snoopy's dad?
Dude!
Listen.
It's not like that!
He had an energy.
He had a freaking energy.
Like, if you watch the movie, he had an energy.
Yeah, if you watch this movie and come back next week for the podcast, I promise you will agree. Like, he has an energy. There's something about a character who thinks they know everything and is correct. Like, there's a level of smugness that comes with that, and it works if they actually know everything, and his character exemplifies that very well.
It's
like,
kind of related to what you're saying, but the fact that, like, he knows everything means that he's very, like, smooth in a way that, like, you can't be if you don't know everything, you know?
So, basically, he's smooth with it.
He's smooth with it, though. I hate that. I didn't like the girl, though. Honestly, I was not super interested in the girl. But...
She irritating.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I just don't think we should be friends with people who bully us. I'm sorry. Even if they stop bullying you, I just don't know if you should be friends and then also have crushes on them. I just don't know about that one, Chief.
Again, I feel like Peabody and Sherman is a we don't love them power duo, and then...
Again... Look what they did! And it's like, okay, fine, I get it, because, like, Sherman is a kid at that age where it's like, I suppose I will simply develop a crush on a whim, but it's like, it had to be this girl, it had to be.
Yeah.
You couldn't help yourself,
and
like,
she
for
stayed
real.
freaking stuff up, too.
I know, right? Like, just follow directions. How hard is it to follow directions?
They're like, oh, he's a dog, and he's, like, adopting a person. Oh. I was like, okay, guys, chill.
It's like, we both see him over there doing quantum physics, right? He can have a kid if he wants a kid. That's gonna be it for this episode. If you enjoyed, please consider liking this video for the algorithm, and also commenting for the algorithm. And if you didn't like this video, then go ahead and like it anyway for the algorithm. Our socials are going to be in the description, so if you thought any of us were funny, or that we had good takes, or even that we had bad takes, I'm going to have those linked. And, yeah, give us money. We've got a link there for you to give us money. And, yeah, please, please. Alright, thanks again for watching, and we will see you when the next episode goes up.
Bye-bye.